Most companion planting advice does not work the way people think it does. You have probably seen the charts. Tomatoes go with basil, carrots go with onions, beans go with corn, marigolds go with everything. These charts get shared constantly and give the impression that companion planting is simple. Just pair the right plants and your garden will thrive. But when most gardeners actually follow those charts, nothing meaningful changes. The tomatoes do not suddenly produce more because basil is nearby. The carrots do not magically repel pests because onions are in the next row. And the reason is simple. Companion planting is not about combinations, it is about placement. Where you put the companion relative to the crop matters far more than which companion you choose. A basil plant in a separate herb bed 3 feet away from your tomatoes does almost nothing. The same basil plant tucked 8 inches from the tomato stem inside the same row changes the entire scent profile that pests use to locate that plant. The difference is not the pairing, it is the proximity and the position. I followed companion planting charts for 2 full seasons and saw zero measurable difference in pest pressure or yield. The season I stopped following charts and started placing plants based on function and position was the first time it actually worked. Because companion planting is not a list, it is a layout. In this video, I am going to show you exactly how that layout works, where to place each companion, how close, and why those positions change the system. The first function that actually works is scent disruption. And it only works when the companion is physically inside the crop it is protecting. Most garden pests do not find plants visually. They find them by following chemical signals released into the air. Aphids find tomatoes by scent. Cabbage moths find brassicas by scent. Cucumber beetles find cucumbers the same way. When a row of one crop stretches uninterrupted across a bed, that signal becomes concentrated and easy to follow. It creates a direct path to food. Breaking that path with aromatic plants forces the pest to work harder to locate its target. This is called olfactory confusion, and it has been documented in multiple university studies, but it only works when the disruption happens exactly where the pest is navigating, inside the row, not beside the bed. So placement becomes everything. Tomatoes. Plant 1 basil for every 3 to 4 tomato plants, 8 to 10 inches from the nearest stem, inside the same row. Peppers. Alternate onion or garlic every 12 to 14 inches. Brassicas. Tuck dill or cilantro every 12 inches between plants to attract parasitic wasps that attack cabbage worms. Cucumbers and squash, interplant radishes and nasturtiums directly among the vines. Beans, stagger marigolds every 18 to 24 inches along the row. I tested this directly with tomatoes. Same variety, same soil, same watering. 1 bed with basil inside the row, 1 without. The basil did not eliminate pests, but it slowed how quickly aphids established colonies. That delay is the advantage. Companion planting does not eliminate pests. It makes your crops harder to find. One thing worth noting, the companions do not reduce your vegetable yield the way you might expect. Basil sits below the tomato canopy and takes almost no vertical space. Dill between brassicas actually benefits the soil and attracts pollinators when it flowers. Marigold roots work underground where they do not compete with bean roots for surface nutrients. You are not sacrificing crop space. You are filling gaps that were producing nothing anyway. The second function is beneficial insect habitat, and this is the layer most companion planting advice completely misses. Even if you slow pest arrival, you still need predators to control the pests that do show up. Ladybugs, lacewings, parasitic wasps, hoverflies, these are your real pest control. But they only stay in your garden if you provide 2 things: nectar for the adults and shelter for reproduction. Without that, they pass through and leave. The solution is an insectary strip, a narrow band of plants designed specifically to support beneficial insects, not random flowers, A system. Along one edge of your garden, about 18 to 24 inches wide, front layer, sweet alyssum. Low, dense, blooms continuously, attracts hoverflies whose larvae consume aphids aggressively. Middle layer, alternating dill and yarrow every 10 to 12 inches. Dill attracts lacewings. Yarrow attracts parasitic wasps. Back layer, a low ground cover like white clover that provides shelter and fixes nitrogen into the soil. This strip becomes a permanent support system for predators. The first season you may see moderate results. By the second season, once populations establish and overwinter, the impact becomes significant. I installed a strip like this along one edge of my garden, and by the second year, pest pressure dropped to the point where I stopped finding hornworms on my tomatoes entirely, not because pests disappeared, because predators found them first. The insectary strip does not need to be large or complicated. Even a single row of alyssum along the front edge of one raised bed provides meaningful benefit. If you have more space, the full 3-layer strip is more effective, but something is always better than nothing. Start with what you have room for and expand it the following season once you see the results. The third function is trap cropping, and this is what completes the system. Instead of trying to keep pests out entirely, you give them a better target. Nasturtiums are the most effective example. Aphids are more attracted to nasturtiums than to most vegetable crops. When you plant them as a continuous border around your garden, 6 to 8 inches apart, pests land there first and often stay there. And once they concentrate on the trap crop, the beneficial insects from your insectary strip move in and feed. That is the part most people miss about trap crops. They are not just a sacrifice plant. They are a feeding station for your predators. The nasturtiums concentrate the pests in one visible location, which makes it easier for beneficial insects to find them. Without the trap crop, pests are scattered across your entire garden. With it, they are gathered in one place where predators can work efficiently. This creates a loop. Pests are redirected away from your crops. Predators are supported and sustained, and scent disruption inside the bed slows down any pests that try to move inward. 3 layers working together. Now picture this as a layout. Back row, tomatoes or pole beans on a trellis with basil tucked between them. Middle row, peppers alternating with onions or garlic. Bush beans with marigolds staggered along the row. Front row, lettuce or fast-growing crops with a border of alyssum around the outside and nasturtiums as a trap crop along one edge, the insectary strip. Every plant has a job. Nothing is decorative. Everything is placed for a reason. When I consolidated everything into this layout, moved the herbs into the vegetable rows, installed the insectary strip along the bed instead of across the yard, and planted nasturtiums around the perimeter instead of in a separate container, pest pressure dropped in a way that 2 years of following companion planting charts never achieved. The information was the same. The placement was what changed the results. And here is the one mistake that makes all of this fail: separation. If your herbs are in one bed and your vegetables are in another, nothing happens. The system breaks. 8 inches from the stem works. 3 feet away does not. Proximity is everything. Once you build companion planting into the layout instead of treating it as an add-on, the garden changes. Fewer pests, less intervention, more consistent production, because you are not reacting to problems. You are designing the system so they do not build in the first place. And if you want to see how this connects to spacing, mulch and airflow, watch the pest-proof garden layout video next. This companion system is one of the 3 structural layers that makes the entire system work. The full companion planting layout with every spacing number and placement is in the description if you want a printable reference.